he has been awarded just 1 hour ago by the Judith Polgar Foundation as a chess ambassador. But besides that, he's the National Chess Federation consultant for chess in schools in the USA, and also a member of FIDE's strategy group, where I had the big pleasure of working with him together for the last couple of years. So welcome again to the stage, Jerry Nash.
Thank you, Leoncio, and thank you, Judith, for allowing me to be a part of this event. It's an incredibly impressive, my first visit to Budapest and to Hungary, and it's wonderful to see all the activities and to realize all the logistics that go on as a part of this. Today I'm going to be talking about how an ancient game is changing the modern classroom. Before I do that, though, I'd like to share just a little bit of background. I am the National Chess Education Consultant for Chess in Schools. So I've been in the field of chess and education for over 20 years. So currently, I serve with Chess in Schools, which is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on training teachers to use chess as an educational tool, whether in the classroom or an after-school setting. So we provide training, we help them to identify the right resources for their program, and then we provide ongoing support after the training. One of the consistent topics of conversation among educators, and this has been true for many years, are the two classroom challenges faced by almost every classroom, and that is student engagement and critical thinking. That is, how do we engage students so that they're interested, so that they're prepared to learn? And then how do we help those students develop the critical thinking skills that will help them to be successful in the classroom and beyond? It just happens that we believe that chess addresses both of those issues. And of course, there are many other skills that will be addressed in the course of this conference, but I want to focus on two benefits of chess: critical thinking and 21st century skills. The list that you see is just a microcosm of the critical thinking skills that are inherent in the game of chess. Higher order thinking, pattern recognition, decision making, all of these things are there. But many teachers are not familiar with this. In fact, I was doing a training in Baton Rouge, Louisiana a number of years ago, and on the first day I asked the question, when I say the word chess, what comes to mind? And one brave teacher in the back stood up and said, boring. What could you possibly be thinking about? Two people sitting, staring at a chess set for hours. What could you possibly be thinking about? So that was on the first day of training. On the third day of training, we actually had them playing a short game of chess with chess clocks. You know, they had like 15 minutes on each side just to give them a flavor for what that was about. At the end of the activity, I always ask them, so what's your reaction? This same teacher said, that's not enough time. There's too much to think about. So it went from boring, to there's too much to think about. But when teachers experience chess, and again, you have to understand, many teachers in the United States are not familiar with the game. If it's baseball or American football, yes, but not chess. But when they experience it, they see what's happening with, or what could potentially happen with their students. But there's another aspect of this, and that's the 21st century skills. Focus, time management, impulse control. Now, my wife is a classroom teacher. She's taught everything kindergarten through 8th grade. And one year she was teaching kindergarten, and Albert was one of her favorite students. Favorite, maybe a challenging word, but Albert had to stay after school a lot because he didn't get his work done during the class day, because on a really good day, Albert had about 2 minutes worth of focus. Now, I'm sure you don't have any students like that in this country, but, my wife has encountered a number of those. So Albert's after school, he's working, and it just so happened that day I was teaching chess to students in her classroom, working with the chess club. And he keeps looking back, and finally my wife says, Albert, do you want to play chess? Oh, yes. So, well, you have to get your work done. Oh, the work got done. It was the best work he'd done in a long time. So now he's in front of a chess set. 5 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. My wife goes down the hallway and calls other teachers to come to the door and look in the window, because all the teachers on that floor knew when Albert's 2 minutes of focus were up. And so they're coming to the door, and you can see the look of absolute shock on their face. That's Albert? No, that's not possible. So now Albert walks down the hall, and teachers say, Albert, I hear you play chess. You must be smart. Now, you have to understand, Albert didn't get accused of that, ever, of being smart. But now you tell a child something, and eventually they believe it. Well, maybe I am smart. But chess and the focus that it brought to that student changed his own self-perception and the perception of teachers around. So chess impacts those 21st century skills that are critical both in the classroom and beyond. Why are students engaged? Well, first of all, it's a game, and they enjoy playing games. But while they're playing those games, whether it's a full game of chess or mini games, however they're doing it, they're gaining skills. And those skills enable them then to develop a self-confidence. If I can do this, I can do the math assignment. Where before you put an assignment in front of them and they said, oh, I can't do that. Now, oh, I can do that because I'm a chess player. So they've developed a self-confidence, and that self-confidence and that engagement, that interest, then translate to a transformed behavior. Teachers often ask, when will I have time to do this? I'm expected to teach the standards. I don't have time to add chess and replace it with something. And the truth is, they don't have to replace it. What we demonstrate to them is that when you're using chess, you're actually, that investment of time is saving you time. I was in schools in Buffalo, New York, in the inner city a number of years ago. Some fourth grade math teachers had invited me to come in and explain what on earth chess had to do with math. So I go in and we do a simple exercise. We name the squares, A1, A8, H1, A8, all of these. And most of the students had not played chess before. So we do this activity, and I turn to the teacher. I said, so about how long does it take you to teach basic graphing skills? And in every one of those classrooms, it was, at least 2 weeks. I said, do you realize that we've done that in less than 10 minutes? So that investment of time up front actually saves them time. So rather than spending 2 weeks introducing that skill, now you can build on that skill and continue to build. And the skills that they're gaining have applications to every subject area. What do educators say? Well, I had a math teacher, a middle school math teacher, who had attended training, went back to his classroom and was using chess. And he came back and told us, said, here's what happened. The students come in, we don't play chess. He said, no, you're doing chess math today. So he had them doing problem solving area and perimeter, various things, just with an empty chessboard. The principal walks in, the school administrator walks in and says, what is going on here? Your students have never been this engaged, this focused. What's going on? The teacher said, it's chess. And in fact, the students at the end of the hour said, can we do this tomorrow? He said, tomorrow's Saturday. We're not even in school. That's how interested and enthused they were about it. And he came back and said, this was the best day of teaching I've ever had. What do educators say? Well, Brad Osborne, a second grade teacher, said that he's seen tremendous changes in metacognitive and critical thinking skills for all of his students. Mindy, a gifted specialist, talked about how chess reaches every learning level, from special education to gifted students. And she also hit upon something that many teachers talk about, and the fact that students are excited about playing chess. And that's part of that engagement. So the teacher will walk in the school at the start of the day, and the students are meeting them in the hallway. Are we doing chess today? Are we doing chess today? They're excited about being there. When students are excited about being in the classroom, about being in school, they're prepared to learn. And when they have those skills that they've developed from the game, they have the confidence that they can solve whatever problem is put in front of them. Do you wish your students were this focused? They could be. Do you think it would change your classroom? Well, teachers all around the world are talking about the fact that chess is not only changing their classroom, it's changing the culture of the school. The truth is, every student needs the skills that chess brings. This is how an ancient game is changing the modern classroom. If you haven't tried it yet, I would encourage you to discover the power of chess to transform your classroom. Thank you again, Judith, for the opportunity to be here. I think we may have some time for questions if Leoncho has any, or he may be backstage, I'm not sure, but he is coming this way. So again, thank you for your attention. Leoncho?
Thank you very much, Jerry. As usual, I have learned a lot from you, and I'm sure the audience as well. Now, I have a concept which I call breaking the ice. I mean, most of the school teachers all over the world have two wrong ideas about chess, previous ideas. Chess is very difficult, and chess is very boring. So breaking the ice is convincing them that this is not true.
That's right.
How do they respond to your program?
It's incredible. A lot of the trainings that I do, on the first day, I'll ask them on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being you're pretty sure you've seen a chess set, 5 being I'm a really good chess player, where would you rate yourself? This is the first day of training. I'll get 0, -1, -2. They are very intimidated by the game of chess. But once they experience the activities, once they actually encounter and they realize, oh my goodness, if I'm being challenged like this, my students will experience this. They are excited about it. In fact, I just recently did a training last week in the state of New Hampshire. We have a project with the State Department of Education to put chess in as many schools as possible. And one of the teachers attended 2 days of the training. She came out and said, this has been the best 2 days. And for teachers, and maybe it's different in this country, but a lot of teachers in the United States, the words professional development cause them to cringe. They dread it. But they really respond well to chess. They love what they're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Now, flexible thinking. In the last 25 years period, the world has changed more or even as much as in any other 25 years period in the history of humankind. And what the experts say is that in the next 25 years, the world is going to change even more. Chess develops flexible thinking a lot. Are you also working on that field through your program?
Absolutely. One of the things that we talk about with teachers is the adaptive thinking that takes place when they're playing chess. I'll have students say, okay, Mr. Nash, here's what I'm going to do this, and if they don't notice that, then I'm going to do this, and if they don't notice that, then I'm going to do this. And so when I share with teachers, they recognize that tunnel thinking, and they discover, and we talk a lot about chess being a dialogue, not a monologue. That means if you're playing chess, you have to understand what the other person is thinking. What are their goals? What are their motivations? These are the kinds of skills in terms of building that kind of perspective of how do I approach this problem, but how are others approaching it? And is this issue really a problem? That's the kind of skill that students desperately need, and the workforce needs as well. They need those kind of problem solvers who can approach a problem from a different perspective, and chess ingrains that in students.
Jerry, what you are doing in such a very influential country as the USA and in FIDE is really very important, so please keep going, and thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.